The environment that we're in right now, especially with social media apps like Instagram and TikTok, oftentimes makes it seem like you're not doing as well financially as you should be.
You're broke!
You might see a 25-year-old guy in a Lamborghini flexing his Rolex watch and talking about his Shopify business that just did $1 million in sales last month. Or you might see an influencer on Instagram with 2 million followers that literally gets paid $10,000 every time she uploads a photo. Or maybe even one of your friends just bought a 5,000 square foot house a few months after getting married and spending 2 weeks in Europe. These are definitely a few things I've seen on social media. So in this video, I wanted to talk about a few different signs that prove you're actually doing pretty well financially, even when it sometimes feels like you're not. Now, these are all according to the research and studies that I've found for myself, so maybe towards the end you can let me know in the comments what you think. The first one that lets you know you're doing well is basically just not living paycheck to paycheck. So what this means is once you get both paychecks for the month, and after all your expenses are covered and all the bills are paid, you still have some money left over. And when I say money left over, I'm not talking about a few dollars left at the end of the month. I mean at least a few $100s to either spend on yourself or save and invest it. For example, if you make $3,000 every month after taxes and your rent is $2,000, your car payment is another $200, and maybe you spend $200 a month on groceries, at the end of the month, you're still left with $600 to either save, invest, or spend. So that's kind of a simple example. You would need to put together a budget to figure out the exact numbers for yourself, but that can be as simple as writing with a pen and paper or using Google Sheets. According to a study by The Motley Fool, the typical American has around $1,200 in their savings account. So I'd say $2,000 or more in your savings account is another good sign that you're doing better financially than the average American. It is recommended that you have at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved in case of an emergency like getting laid off and immediately having no income, or a huge medical expense that inevitably happens, but $2,000 in your savings account is definitely a good start. And there are a ton of high yield savings accounts out there right now that are currently paying anywhere from 3 to 5% APY. And those will definitely help in growing your cash with those monthly interest payments. What's really cool about high yield savings accounts too is even when you're saving a fixed amount every month, the amount you're making in interest will continue to go up, creating that compound interest effect. Keep in mind though that putting your money in a high yield savings account is a great way to build wealth and grow your cash, but it's not the same as investing in stocks or index funds, but we'll touch on that later. Another sign that you're doing well financially is not feeling the need to purchase name brand and luxury items. And don't get me wrong, as someone who likes cars, I would absolutely love to go buy a brand new Audi or BMW right now. And I could pretty easily go get approved today to go finance one. But I know that a purchase like that would not only completely disrupt my goal of building wealth, but it's also something I don't truly need. Instead, I drive a fully paid off older Toyota Corolla that serves the same purpose as any other car and gets over 30 miles per gallon. So this actually brings me to the next sign, which is having little to no debt. In 2023, the average American has over $6,000 in credit card debt and another $23,000 in car debt. So for one household, that's nearly $30,000, not including student loans or a mortgage. So if you have less than $30,000 in debt as a household or $15,000 as a single person, you're still in a pretty good spot. Obviously, it's more ideal if you have zero debt, but there's important things in life like an education, a car, and a house that you might need to take on some debt for. The last indicator that you're doing well financially is the ability to not only consistently invest your money, but also not worry at all when the market takes a downturn. This kind of ties into what I was saying earlier about not living paycheck to paycheck and having a few hundred left over at the end of the month. So if you're able to invest even just $200 on a monthly basis and keep that money invested no matter what happens in the market, because you know that this money shouldn't be touched until retirement, you're definitely a lot more well off than the average person. Those of you who are already subscribed to my channel know that investing and building wealth is something I'm really passionate about. So if you enjoy videos that are similar to this one, then feel free to check out my other videos, and I'll see you next time.